Good evening.
Hold on. Stop right there, you little shit. Let the pros handle it. Good evening, wrestling fans. I'm your host, Lewis, the Encyclopedia of Pro Wrestling.
And this is Jay, the Whiz Kid of Pro Wrestling.
And this is Evolution of Pro Wrestling. Yeah, you see, little turd. Good evening, wrestling fans. Welcome to Evolution of Pro Wrestling. It's going to be an exciting show for you tonight. As always, we bring you the best. We bring you the most controversial. We bring you anything you want. And more. But most of all, we are officially MA. Mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
I don't know how to make an M silent.
Fucking A.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo, James, what's going on, brother? Christopher Brown is here. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Wrestling fans, there's a lot to talk about tonight. There's so much has been happening in professional wrestling. Elimination Chamber fallout. Many surprising things are happening. Many speculations have been talked about in professional wrestling. We're going to start off this show hot, and our topic of the night we're going to announce momentarily. But first, top story. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, their contract is running out. Mm-hmm. Will they be WWE bound? Jaden, what are your thoughts about that?
I don't know. I mean, that's really a tough one because, I haven't really been hearing them making noise that much as, I kind of thought they would. But, is Triple H still head of...
We're gonna get to that too. He is still head of creative, but we're gonna get to a match that we fucking know that Vince McMahon put his hands in that damn pot. So, what are your thoughts about Kenny Omega coming to the WWE? Is there competition for him? Who would you put him up against? Should he win a title?
Okay, as far as a title right now, no. I mean, I can't really say, at this point in this generation, that's kind of possible because look at Cody Rhodes, like they're probably already trying to give him a title shot. But I kind of understand because he's been in the WWE before, he's had experience, and he's actually worked for it in a different company. But I don't think he's title material yet. However, I do think there is many people that you can put him up against.
Okay, so
definitely.
And you also got the Young Bucks.
The Young Bucks.
Can we see the Young Bucks coming back? Yes, WWE setting up for the Bullet Club takeover, the OC and Cody. That's interesting. That's very interesting because you see something like that and it makes you want to become a fan even more. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, holy shit! Are we getting the Kenny Omega? Are we getting the actual dream match tag team of the Young Bucks versus the Usos, or the Young Bucks versus the New Day,
right,
or whoever? Like,
right. You
gotta see how this thing is gonna pan out.
That's
but
true.
There's also something about AEW that was surprising, that Eddie Kingston quit AEW.
AEW has been having a very...
He's going to apparently Ring of Honor.
AEW has been having a very big falling out. Like, I feel like ever since the CM Punk situation, he put like a really bad reputation on AEW. Like, that's just what I feel like. I feel like after that whole situation is when AEW...
The Elite versus Judgment Day. Oh, man. What's up, Ray? Well, excuse me, Rod. Sorry, Rod. See, Kingston is going to Ring of Honor. It's storyline bullshit, of course. Of course. Okay. Kingston quit as part of the storyline. Kevin, go be! Mama, número dos. What's up, fellas? What's up? Welcome to Evolution of Pro Wrestling. Talking crappy wrestling. Hey, mama, don't call that shit crappy wrestling, okay? We're talking good wrestling here, Carlito. What's going on, Carlito? Carlos Lebron Tatu, he is one of the famous photographers, videotape cameraman in independent wrestling. Right, does a great job.
Take a picture of this real quick.
You want to take a picture of you on the floor? Going good.
How's it going?
Going good. Yeah, Jeremy, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Hello, sir. So, Carlito, that is not cool. If that's the case, James, then Khan has problems. Tony Khan has problems.
He does indeed.
He does have problems. Like you see what you're losing your talent. You're losing your young. Like you gotta really. You're trying to build around these WWE stars. Mm-hmm. It's not gonna work. This is not back in the days of WCW and the Attitude Era. No fucking way. Like cut the shit out, my man. You want too much in that Kool-Aid. Like.
Cut it out, man.
Cut it out, bro.
Stop.
Like, bottom line, yes, AEW has done some good things. You know, I'm not gonna lie. They got a pay-per-view coming up, Revolution. It's gonna be a good pay-per-view.
Not even that. I'm not even gonna lie. Like
that's another thing. AEW might lose a TV deal, so there's a lot of shit going on with AEW right now.
That's what I said. I can give them certain props because before WWE got good, they were knocking WWE off.
They were kicking the shit. They were kicking the shit out of
WWE got good again.
They were kicking the shit out of WWE's development NXT,
and then
Vince McMahon just started doing a whole bunch of bullshit, and then eventually that's when WWE started kicking their asses and like, all right, cool, you want to play? Time to play the game. And Triple H was the ace in the hole.
Okay, now I wouldn't really say crappy.
No, it's crappy. It's fucking crappy.
Now, yes, maybe. Now.
They're doing the same thing WCW did. I also heard about the ladder match.
Oh, Lord.
Listen, they can't. They have to come up with new things of their own. If you don't, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to do anything. You're not going to become a successful business. And you're just going to be another WCW down the toilet. Christopher Brown says the problem Khan has, Lewis, is because he thinks he's a baller and end all of wrestling booking when someone in a wheelchair who's blind could end up doing a better job storylines than him.
Dang.
Unfortunately, it's true.
Right.
It's true. Mm-hmm. The ladder broke. Exactly. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Listen. Bottom line,
oh my goodness,
AEW has to do better.
Please.
You got to get better talent. Like, if I were you, fuck Vince McMahon. Like, talk to Triple H. Get a cross brand match.
Yeah, like come on, break that
cross brand pay-per-view.
The Forbidden Door, man.
Like, get that Forbidden Door. No, there's nothing wrong with being a mark. Ain't nothing wrong with being a mark. Cause I'm a mark myself. I mark out when I see some fucking old school dude or anybody come out crazy that I haven't seen in a long time. You know what I mean? That's what I do. That's what we do. Excuse me. Got to flip my water.
Take a sip of your sippy cup.
I upgraded. I got a sippy cup.
Yeah, me too.
Anyway, back to business. Tony Khan, he has his ways, but he's trying to be a Vince McMahon. You're not Vince McMahon. I'm sorry. Like, stay off. Exactly. WWE has no competition.
Yeah, you're right. At this moment, WWE is the top league.
Okay, Dave says AEW is making their own stars. All their champions are their own stars. MJF, Orange Cassidy, Ass Boys, Hook, Powerhouse Hobbs is number 2 is fine. That's fine. Hey, Russell, what's going on, man? I'm welcome, sir.
In a way, you're not wrong, but in terms of the way they're trying to develop their characters now, he's right. He's just trying to be another Vince McMahon.
But you can't. You can't.
It's not
going to work the way it did before.
It's not in this.
This is not the 90s. This is not the Attitude Era no more. This is not the same generation.
It's not the same generation. You got to let the characters be themselves. And I feel like, now that a lot
of course, Jeremy. Of course it would change history of WCW cross brands with AEW with WWE. That shit would. You know how much money they would make out of that fucking shit?
Both of them.
You know what I mean? And listen, AEW is losing people as they go.
I think Triple H can make. I think he could too.
Of course he can make it happen. It's Vince McMahon who's being the fucking mama and being stubborn. I want to sell. That's good shit. Like, my man,
let your son-in-law do his job. He's gonna get you some money.
Development problems in AEW. You can't do it. You do that cross brand. I'm telling you, it will make professional wrestling it will bring professional wrestling to new heights.
Of course it will.
Bottom line. That's it. Look, you got Vicky Guerrero. She's leaving AEW. Like literally leaving AEW. She's fed up with these assholes.
You think she could be coming back to WWE?
Of course, and bringing her back and then having that feud with Dominic, because she doesn't like what Dominic is doing with Eddie Guerrero's character, her late husband. So that's perfect.
Like literally?
Literally, she doesn't like it. So that's perfect to bring her in and say, "Who the fuck are you talking about being my husband?"
Dang, I didn't know she actually did not disagree.
Yeah, no, she disagreed with it because it's her husband, it's her late husband. But to me, Dominic is doing a great fucking job. Like, great. The match is inevitable at WrestleMania.
That's what I think too. But like I heard, it was one of those situations where I had to see it for myself to hear it, because when I first heard it, like people, it was kind of Facebook. A lot of people on Facebook, they just hate for no reason. So,
Kevin says, why they not doing crossing generations together would be dope and great entertainment. I agree. Absolutely.
It would be.
Absolutely. It would be definitely
phenomenal. I don't know why they didn't do it.
Christopher Brown says, I would piss myself laughing if Vicky shows up and gets in Rhea's face. Like,
that shit would be
Rhea
hilarious.
will beat the bejesus out of that woman.
Rhea will fold her like an omelet.
She will whoop her ass. She is a Hall of Famer, but But speaking of Hall of Fame, what the fuck is going on with the Hall of Fame?
What's going on?
You haven't heard, Jay. After Royal Rumble, they usually announce inductees already.
What's happening?
They have not announced not one, and it's already past the Elimination Chamber already.
You think Vince could also have something to do
I have no fucking idea. It's like come on now, you doing shit like that. The way you're doing, like, according to Christopher Brown, apparently they're having an issue finding a headliner. They're thinking Batista, if not The Rock.
I think The Rock,
but I don't know.
I don't think Batista. I feel like The Rock would be a better headliner.
I don't know.
What do you think should be a headliner this year?
I don't know.
I'm about to say there's not really many options anymore.
I don't know.
There's not many options.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. Because right then, like that, to me, there's a lot of people waiting that should be there, but are not there. You understand what I'm saying?
That's true.
So why even?
Right? Yeah, right.
Like, put people that are worthy of going into the Hall of Fame. Like, don't put no bullshit. Brian says Dom has been interviewed recently, and he's mentioned that Vicky has given the approval for what Dom is doing and how he's portraying Eddie. Really?
Wait, what?
Interesting. Interesting. That's new to us. I have read something that she was pissed off about it. Vince got brain gonorrhea. Vince don't got it no more. See, exactly. You got the Midnight Express, Ivan Koloff. There's many other stars, old school stars that should be in the Hall of Fame. But you put in people like the Great Khali. Why? Because an international stardom? Okay, I understand. He was an international star. You know, India's a huge.
I'm sorry, but in the ring, he was caca.
But
he was.
It's like,
he wasn't good in the ring. Like, I get it. You know, he was a international, like you said, an international.
He was an international star, but
he did nothing in the. I think like one of the.
Nothing.
I think
you
one of the best.
Absolutely nothing.
One of the best matches.
What you got?
I was to say one of the best matches that I've seen from him is, and the only reason why I think this is good is because John Cena kind of carried it. Was that match was probably one of the only good matches that he.
Well, actually, his good match he had was against Triple H.
I didn't even know he fought.
Yeah, he fought Triple H, and it was actually a pretty decent match. It was a pretty decent match, but they need to get the WWE Hall of Fame in and stop bullshitting. Cut the shit out. Get the Midnight Express. Get a whole bunch of people that deserve to be there. You know,
please.
But when you talk about deserving something in the WWE Hall of Fame, this particular organization that we are about to talk about today deserved the title for the top company back in the 90s. But before we name our topic, please feel free to share our content all over social media. Bring everybody in, your friends, your cousins, your aunts, anybody, your dogs, anybody, and have them watch Evolution of Pro Wrestling. We are talking wrestling talk right now, and we are about to bring our topic into point, which will be the history of WCW and how Eric Bischoff changed professional wrestling forever.
Hey Dad, how'd you change wrestling forever?
By whipping your ass.
Bad answer.
Anyway, Word had
Tommy
there was a comment.
Rich for Hall of Fame.
There was a comment. Brian says Word has Eddie Kingston quit AEW after. Yeah, he went to Ring of Honor. That's why he said there's something.
Oh yeah, wait, that's
okay.
Story.
Dave says there is something for being a good company man. Coco Beware is good with me. Coco Beware deserves to be there because this was back in the days when he was a good face. He was a good face, but he knew how to sell a villain. You understand what I'm saying? How to push someone in. He was still a fan favorite, but he was definitely one to know how to work with talent. So that I agree with.
Okay.
Tommy Wild Rich. Oh yeah, Tommy Rich, of course. I remember Tommy Rich. Listen, there's many names that need to be in that fucking Hall of Fame, and he should be one of them. And there's many others that belong in there.
I'm about to say there's many people that I feel like belong in the Hall of Fame that aren't in the Hall of Fame.
So, but anyway, back to the topic at hand. History of WCW. Good night, sir.
Good night.
No, that's how he's greeting us. Good night.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how he.
Oh, good night.
Yeah, that's a greeting.
Oh, I did not know that. My apologies.
With WCW, they were at the point that they started off as the NWA. You know, the NWA. They went on from 1982 to 1987. They had some really good talent. They had Jack Briscoe, the Briscoe brothers, Ole Anderson. They had a whole bunch of fucking people.
A lot of people.
They had Starcade, Ric Flair, Harley Race. But eventually, it got bought out by Jimmy Crockett Promotions. So Jimmy Crockett took NWA on, in his wing. Did the Jimmy Crockett Senior Memorial Cup. Many great superstars were fighting in that, but it didn't really work out. Until eventually Ted Turner bought WCW in 1989. And then from 1989 to 1993, he bought wrestling. Still was the owner. But then in 1993 to 1999, the Eric Bischoff era happened in WCW.
What does that even stand for?
World Championship Wrestling.
I kind of figured that.
World Championship Wrestling.
Just had to clarify.
And the thing that Eric Bischoff did with professional wrestling within that time of WCW was fucking phenomenal. Like, we're going to get into that starting off when he first became an announcer. You guys remember when he was announcing. He was an announcer. He was a snot-nosed kid. Didn't know shit. They used him around, but the guys respected him. Mm-hmm. They knew who he was. Mm-hmm. So, at one point, he applied for the position of executive producer, executive vice president, yada, yada, yada. He got it. He got it out of everybody that had experience and had the chance to do it. He got it. What does he do after that? He says, remember when when WCW you couldn't throw people out of the ring or you was DQ? Yeah, that was stupid. What? That was fucking stupid. That's what I'm saying. That's when that's when I'm glad Eric Bischoff took over WCW, because back then WCW, you couldn't jump off the top rope or it was a disqualification. You couldn't throw anybody over the top rope or it was a disqualification. There was no mats. There was a straight concrete, no mats on the floor. I'm like, yo, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what kind of WCW was this? And that was done by Bill Watts, former wrestling superstar as well. And
come on, man.
And it's like, no, like, how the hell are you gonna do wrestling like that? That makes no fucking sense to me.
That's like, not even wrestling.
No, like, that's not wrestling. Like,
the whole purpose.
Like, cut that shit out. So,
dang.
He started doing his own digging. He was looking out from Greg Gagne was giving him some tips, and then eventually he went on to do WCW Saturday Night. Mm-hmm. He did Worldwide Wrestling.
Okay,
but Ted Turner asked him, how can you compete with WWE? Eric said the most logical answer, give me prime time. And not thinking that he was going to do the shit and give it to him, Ted Turner says, give Eric Monday nights at 8 p.m. on TNT. Holy shit. Once that happened, when they debuted in the Mall of America, when Hulk Hogan had his debut match, and speaking of that, they signed Hulk Hogan, the flag bearer of the WCW, and it changed everything. But we go back to seeing like instance, Jake the Snake Roberts came in through the crowd and jumped Sting and DDT'd him on a chair.
Oh,
so WCW had their moments, but their main moment was when Eric Bischoff took over. Eric Bischoff is got to be the most controversial son of a bitch I've ever heard, besides Vince McMahon.
Of course.
And with him, you know, Eric Bischoff created controversy. And like they say, controversy creates cash.
Yep, exactly.
And he created a lot of fucking cash. Like, for instance,
he put booties in
he brought Medusa. Medusa, a.k.a., you know, Alundra Blaze, a.k.a. formerly known as Medusa. She brought the women's title from WWE and threw it in the fucking trash.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because of Eric Bischoff. All bets were off after that.
That was crazy.
Like, Vince McMahon at that time was still stuck in the
Paul Heyman was better in ECW.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
He was a crazy son of a bitch, but
I don't think he was better.
He was. I don't think better.
Yeah.
Here, he's
like,
actually known. He was known, and people actually follow him. Hello, my name is Paul Heyman.
I'm about to say, I feel like now people actually know him for, you know, being, you know, this mastermind.
ECW made him.
I'm about to say, definitely.
ECW made it because, yes, he was Paulie Dangerously in WCW. He was a manager of the Dangerous Alliance, Radish Rick Rude, Steve Austin. He was a great manager. But
he was a
when he owned ECW and he actually brought that attitude out of everyone, that's when the shit hit the fan. That's when everything went all shit from, like, they went nuts. So I'm like, holy shit, ECW. And I liked it.
Great.
Dave says that era also had some of us watching WCW and WWF for ECW. Christopher Brown says that's an element missing in today's day and age. You don't have that controversy to rope in the fans because the commercial sponsors are too damn squishy and chicken shit of bad press. Of course.
He's not lying.
He's not lying. He's not lying.
He's not lying.
You know what I mean? Like, grow some cojones.
Yeah.
Grow some balls. And like, what you gonna do?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Grow some cojones.
Like, I don't understand. Like, a great promoter, poor businessman. Exactly. Like, you can't do that. Everybody wants to be fucking sensitive these days. Like, cut that shit out. Like, this is wrestling. Yeah. This is not ballet.
Grow a pair of pubes, please.
You know, I understand some kids watch it, all right.
I mean, but come on now. You know what? They clearly have a warning. Do not try this at home.
Do not try this shit at home.
If your child does that, that is
don't try it at home.
All right, I get it.
Excuse me, I need some water.
Yeah, he needs some of his water in a sippy cup. But, like, come on. They have a warning. And if your child still tries it, don't get mad at the people who warned you. Get mad at your child because he still choose to do it without, you know.
Yes, Perry, I remember that when he sang it. He made the crowd sing for Stone Cold Steve Austin. When Stone Cold Steve Austin was with WCW ECW Alliance, that shit was funny, man. Oh man, that shit was funny. Paul Heyman
is great.
Paul Heyman is an absolute asshole, but he's a good one. Why? Because he knows controversy. He knows what the fuck he's doing.
He knows how to put the crowd in their chair.
I remember that day, Bradley. I remember that when he came to Saturday night, when he came to the pay-per-view. So Jaden, here in Canada, after every commercial break, we get that damn warning on the screen. Laughing my ass off. No, but
but it's a warning though. You know, like, at least that's what I'm saying. Like, at least they're letting people can't complain how these places are this, that, and the third, all of that, but they're giving you warnings. Don't try this.
No, but that's what I'm saying, and it's not. No, and it's not only that. They tell you viewer discretion is advised, mama.
And you don't leave.
Don't do it. Exactly. Don't leave it to the professionals.
Exactly.
Leave it to the professionals.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But Paul Heyman knew what he was doing.
Of course he did.
But when he was in WCW, he didn't get that much praise.
Nah.
He was a great manager in WCW, but not like ECW. Here in WWE, the Bloodline, forget it. That's a masterpiece right there. So
that's one of the best things that's happened in WWE in a little while.
Yeah. So we go back to when 1993, July 6, 1993. Mas puta! He signed Hulk Hogan in July 6, 1993. The gimmicks weren't really working.
Yeah.
The gimmicks weren't working. You know, Eric Bischoff said, you know, it was back and forth with WWE and WCW.
Right.
You know, the gimmicks here, the gimmicks there. You had the Yeti, this big ass fucking mummy, which made no sense to me in WCW. Hulk Hogan in black with no fucking mustache. Like,
he didn't have a mustache.
I don't understand what the hell that way. He was with a knife, the Hulkamania brothers. You wasn't gonna win fans like that. Yeah, everybody liked Hulkamania. They didn't like him in black. They liked him when he came back in yellow. But
yeah, his golden mustache.
In the defining era in 1996, everything
changed forever.
Changed forever in professional wrestling.
Of course.
The Bloodline is a matter of taste. I can't wait for it to end.
I mean, look,
no, it's time to end.
Honestly, I feel like they should end it like by Mania. I don't want them to drag that anymore.
The Dungeon of Doom, it didn't suck at the time because Hulk Hogan was the hero. But after a while, that it kept adding people and doing shit and doing this and doing that, then it got corny. It got corny. You had the Shark Man, and it was this,
the Shark Man.
Yeah, it was.
What?
It was a whole bunch of shit going on. Like, it was. It wasn't.
So this sounds lame. The Shark Man.
No, it wasn't. Excuse me, fans. I'm a little under the weather. I apologize. It doesn't. No, definitely not the NWO. Definitely not the NWO. In 1996, the Impossible. Oh shit! My fault. I almost dropped my camera.
Watch your feet.
Sorry, fans. Sorry. In 1996, the first person that started this controversy was Scott Hall. Scott Hall was in the WWE, and he ended up walking through the crowd the next night after the pay-per-view on Monday Nitro, through the crowd, got the mic, and like, you people, you know who I am. Yeah, but you don't know why I'm here. Okay, we got a question. The question that needs to be asked and answered, Lewis, is once the Bloodline story ends, what do you do to keep the fans engaged post-Mania? Oh, trust me. Trust me.
With Triple H's mind, I'm sure he has.
Trust me. I guarantee you there will be something in that bald head's mind.
I wonder what, now that actually has me questioning, what will happen after the Bloodline is over?
Remember, there's one thing that we did not talk about, which we're going to put the topic on a hold for a second. The Elimination Chamber fallout.
Ah, yes.
The Elimination Chamber was an absolute superb pay-per-view, in my opinion.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. I don't give a fuck what the ending was. I didn't care what the hell happened. I didn't care. No. The way the ending was perfect.
Of course.
It was perfect.
Yep.
Why? Because they broke records. Sami Zayn had over 16,000 people behind you. Like, holy shit. Like, what is...
He had a lot of people behind him.
Like, it was crazy. The crowd was going nuts. The matches alone, for instance, the Women's Elimination Chamber, nuts. Asuka, the winner. Holy shit, this chick is crazy.
Asuka, I love Asuka.
But it was a hell of a match, though. It was a hell of a match, though.
Gimmick, the New Japan
gimmick. Man, I'm loving the gimmick. Loving the gimmick.
Man, I love her gimmick. It is so fire.
Loving the gimmick. And then you got the men's one, which one particular wrestler surprised the shit out of me. Montez Ford. Brian almost had it. Brian called it that he was gonna take it, and it was.
I thought he was too. I'm not gonna lie.
Like, wow.
Montez, that Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to do that, Brian. Like they trying to prevent it.
I love.
But Sami Zayn is so.
Carmella has a new gimmick.
Yeah, she definitely has a new gimmick. It's cool. It's pretty cool. Main event was good. Other stories were not. Lesnar and Lashley, Rhea Ripley losing was. Well,
I mean, she won the Rumble.
She won the Rumble. It's kind of
makes sense.
It makes sense because it's kind of like making her go. Yeah. It's making her go weak. Making her look weak going into Mania, but still, she'll probably still win the title.
This is like, think of it as like her making a comeback.
Montez definitely needs a push.
He does.
Exactly. Kevin says I'm surprised Austin Theory too. His skills got he won. He won. He won because Logan Paul intervened.
He cost Seth the match.
Yo.
Ooh,
I'm not gonna lie. Ooh. Logan Paul and Seth Rollins is actually gonna be a hell of a match at WrestleMania.
Especially the performance.
Can't say the same about his brother Jake Paul. He got knocked the fuck out. He literally got his shit rocked.
Lost.
He got his shit rocked.
About time.
So it was.
But and Logan Paul.
Yes, new champions, Lita and Becky Lynch. Also new tag team champions on Raw.
Yes, that's right.
So Trish Stratus came back. Like it was a lot of shit is going on, man.
That's what I'm saying.
So we're jumping back and forth. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. This WWE is now on top again, which brings us back to the WCW day when WCW finally took over. And in that fateful night, when Hulk Hogan at Bash at the Beach, 1990, he was out. Even I was fucking surprised. I'm like, holy shit!
Was that his heel turn?
That was his heel turn. That was Hulk Hogan's heel. Everybody went nuts. The crowd went nuts.
I heard people was throwing things.
No. The crowd went nuts. The crowd went nuts, and you hear the cheering. You hear the comments. Oh, Hulk Hogan! Hulk Hogan is in the building, and then all of a sudden, Bobby Heenan says, "But whose side is he on?" And then the Dusty Rhodes says, "What are you talking about?" Man, he asks us again, "Whose side is he on?" And Hulk Hogan goes with this ripping the shirt. Fans go nuts. And Dusty says, "Yes, sir." And then that's when Hulk Hogan drops the famous leg drop on the Macho Man Randy Savage. Boom.
Oh my goodness.
All bets were off after that. The New World Order was born.
That was the moment that changed.
When Hulk Hogan became a heel, holy shit.
Because it's like, it was so surprising, because it's like the most famous babyface in the world turned into a complete villain.
It was amazing.
That is crazy.
It was. And I mean,
that's crazy.
And when I mean that the crowd was throwing shit at
that's them. That's what I heard. I was
that ring, that ring was full of debris.
Dang.
Full that it was bad. It was really bad that he
was angry.
No, but it started off to a whole new level. I mean, more attacks. The NWO attacking all the superstars, attacking Ric Flair, Lex Luger. Like, it was just awful. They were beating the shit out of everybody. Especially WWE, because they beat WWE in the ratings for 89 weeks, 2 years.
They beat them for a long time.
But you know what? But that's what happened. That Eric Bischoff took it to the limit to Vince McMahon so bad that Vince McMahon had to come out of his comfort zone and say, "You know what? Fuck it. It's time to get edgier." You're right. You smelling the fart?
There was a bug.
You smelling the fart?
No,
you farted?
there was a bug.
You sure?
It was a bug.
It's alright. He probably passed for the week.
There was a bug.
Anyway, back to our topic. He made Vince McMahon get out of his comfort zone. And that's when all the gloves were off.
I'm about to say no.
When the suckers started happening,
no pulling punches.
Everything started coming on. And Bradley says, I heard that Nash and Hall didn't like Hogan in the beginning, and I also heard that Sting was supposed to be the third man if Hogan didn't turn heel. Yeah, that's true. That's
honestly,
absolutely true.
I would like to see how that played out.
But I don't think that
it wouldn't have had as big of a pop as that, but
it would have had a pop.
I still don't.
Just not like Hogan.
That's what I said.
For the simple fact, not taking anything away from Sting. Sting is a legit icon in this business.
Absolutely, Sting
always. He's in the Hall of Fame. Sting is in the Hall of Fame.
He better.
And he no disrespect to him, but Hulk Hogan.
I mean, because
put wrestling on the map.
Like I said, when you think about it, Hulk Hogan was the biggest babyface at the time.
Of course.
And then he turned for a babyface like that to turn onto the other side. Mm-hmm. That's very surprising.
Of course.
That's why I think it was such a big deal, because it was, the biggest baby face just turned into a villain. Sting at the time, he wasn't really like at that caliber as Hulk Hogan was. So that's just why, like I said, it would have gotten a pop if Sting turned heel, but Hulk Hogan, like, Hulk
Hogan changed the wrestling world
forever.
The gloves were off. Hulk Hogan's persona as a heel, the beard, the belt, the hat, the merchandise, everything was NWO.
Yellow and
like you saw all these people on TV wearing NWO. But as always,
I feel like they should have just.
There's always those fucking politics that happen behind the screen. That was the demise of WCW. WCW fucked up.
Yeah.
But the question is though,
they did.
Would there have been a war if Vince McMahon would have changed his gimmick, or do you think WCW would have put WWE out of business?
What do you mean if he changed his?
If he was still with the gimmicks, not the Attitude Era, do you think WWE would have made it?
So basically, you're like eliminating the Attitude Era.
Mm-hmm.
So if there was no Attitude Era,
for example, Attitude Era. If Hulk Hogan turned heel, but Vince McMahon still didn't pull the trigger to be Attitude Era, would they would have withstand?
So, because I feel like I said, the moment the Attitude Era came in, it's just like you said, he stopped pulling punches. Like, he was like, dang, he's not pulling his punches, so I can't pull none either.
I'm gonna answer this comment. Bradley Day says, I actually thought it would be a whole lot stronger if Sting, because he was the franchise of the company, it would have killed WCW fans.
I mean,
you're right. No,
lying.
You're right.
I'm not lying.
You're right.
Definitely.
You're right. But again, Hulk Hogan is a known name.
I feel like
everywhere.
I'm about to say Hulk Hogan is the face of wrestling. Sting was the face
of WCW. He didn't go to WWE. He didn't go to AWA.
Wrestling.
Hogan was everywhere.
As a whole, he was as a whole.
But you're right. It would have definitely crushed the WCW fans. But when it comes to brand name, a name to shock the world, the best one is Hogan.
Of course.
Best option was Hogan, because the saying your prayers, oh brother, that crushed everybody.
Yeah.
And you saw that, even a point that Razor Ramon, aka Scott Hall, the actual Scott Hall, was knocked in the head with a fucking soda.
Literally?
That's how much the fans were so pissed off at Hulk Hogan's heel turn.
It's either that was a lucky throw, that person has some good aim.
Oh shit!
You know how hard it is to hit someone in the ring?
No, it was tough. It was really tough. Like wow. And then they've done some good things. Don't get me wrong. They had certain pay-per-views. They brought some celebrities in like Karl Malone. They had a match with Roddy Piper and Hulk Hogan. Roddy Piper came back and beat Hulk Hogan. You also had Sting finally changing his character and becoming the Crow. That was a good thing.
That's my favorite.
That was a good storyline that they did with him and Hulk Hogan.
I feel like that would have worked. So wait, what was his WCW character before?
He was a man called Sting, and he had makeup, colorful makeup, and other stuff like that.
Like then, if they was like, let's just say like, if that was to hypothetically come to the point where Hogan wasn't the one that made the turn, I feel like they should have pulled the trigger with.
See, Sting. There we go, right there. That's what started the demise of WCW.
The finger poke
of death.
That was
when Hulk Hogan went like to Kevin Nash, that shit fucked everything up.
That was stupid, man.
Then you bring in Jay Leno to fight into a match. What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, that was dumb.
Like, come on now.
He started becoming another Vince McMahon.
He said, Chris Brown says it. And if you think about it, Lewis, there's a parallel between NWO and the Bloodline. WWE needs to, and I didn't even see that comment, I'm sorry. Surfer Sting, exactly. He said, Brian says NWO was the rise and downfall of WCW. Exactly. No, my son, he knows Sting, but he knows Sting as the Crow. Not by Surfer Sting.
Your son
don't know Sting?
I don't know Sting going back from that far, but or let me not say I didn't know him, because I don't have too much knowledge about him. Surfer Sting, I know he used to wear like he was basically to me he was almost a mimic of the Ultimate. When it comes to face paint, Ultimate Warrior.
You're right. WCW would not have died, but I guarantee you they would not have been the top company.
Nah.
If WCW was kicking their ass, like they had to take a huge pay cut. Many superstars had to take a huge pay cut because of the Attitude Era and the way they were losing. So it would have. It was tough to call. It was tough to swallow when you're getting your asses kicked. And many superstars, he teamed up with the Warrior back then. Yeah, he teamed up with the Warrior back then. Okay. So you can't say that yes, WWE would have won. If they would have never changed up, WCW would have never won. Like they had to.
I'm about to say it's either they stopped pulling their punches, or they lost.
Yeah,
it was one thing or another.
Exactly. And yes, WCW died in 2002. Like that was it. Like there was no more. You bring in Jay Leno to fight a match. You do an arm bar on Hulk Hogan. Are you fucking kidding me? You put the WCW belt on David Arquette, a person that doesn't know shit about the business. A title that's so prestigious that Ric Flair's held it. Dusty Rhodes, Sting, Triple H, Ric Flair. If I haven't said his fucking name yet,
I'm pretty sure Ric
Flair. Whole bunch of people,
like the second,
like a whole bunch of people. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Like, come on, man. Barry Windham. Many great wrestlers, superstars, have won that fucking title, and you're gonna give it to an actor that doesn't know shit about the business?
That's dumb.
Like, come on, man. That's why your business in the and then to top it off, you had the fucking dumbass Vince Russo.
That's why I went into.
He thought, I made the Attitude Era. I made WWE what it was. So they didn't shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. He apparently it looked like he blocked my comment when I commented on because he didn't like about the fans following Seth Rollins. Like what kind of bullshit is that? Come on, man. That's ridiculous.
Jeez.
That's ridiculous. Let the fans be what they want to be. It's people like you so petty that don't want to freaking allow the fans to be who they want to be. Let them be. Some fans at times, we say crazy shit, but that's what we do. That's what we have opinions for.
Exactly.
We're fans.
Lewis, it's being said
that Vince wants Roman to have the belts for 1,000 days before dropping.
He meant 2,000. Dang.
No. WCW was done in 2001, which is true. He said, I think Vince Russo killed WCW, not NWO. I think so too. Vince Russo didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. Like, bottom line. He had no idea what the hell he was talking about. And when it comes to that, us fans are a bunch of mama's. Dave says, Russo, Cornette, and Eric Bischoff need to go away now, though. Exactly. It's a new era, new millennium. You gotta let the younger generation take over.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And
definitely.
In this particular situation, when Vince Russo came in 1998 is when you already saw signs of declining in WCW. From 1998 to 2001,
that's when
the whole shit changed. The only thing that saved WCW at the time was Goldberg, because Goldberg was spearing and all that shit.
And all that,
but they kept saying, 170, 180 wins and undefeated. Where the fuck you get all these wins from? You're multiplying? Like, come on. Like, that made no damn sense to me. That made no sense to me at all. But he did it.
He did.
They did it. And he actually beat Hulk Hogan.
He did.
And it won the rating. Mm-hmm. It won that rating that time. Just that time. But after that was just downhill from there. The ratings started soaring. Ric Flair tried to come back and reform the Four Horsemen. That shit didn't work.
I'm about to say that failed.
Like, there's only one Four Horsemen.
Yeah, of course.
You can't bring that shit back. It's never duplicated. None of that shit.
I'm about to say never. No. Never that.
It was just ridiculous. You're doing stuff like that, and it's like, what next? What's the next thing you need to do? Like I said, you bring in stars, okay. But don't take them out of their element. You bring in Jay Leno, put him as a ring announcer, put him as a guest speaker, whatever, but don't put him in the fucking ring.
No, come on.
Like that was the demise of WCW right there.
That's what wrapped it all up. That's what messed it up.
Yep, and then like I said, from 1999 to 2000, Vince Russo I don't know what the hell he was thinking, creating these dumb-ass matches. Yes, he made Booker T champion. That was good. That was a good way to bring his character up, to bring his stardom up. But then what? What do you do after that?
I'm about to say, then what? Like, what's next?
And then that was it. The final year. The final year. See, you put David Arquette as champion. It was ridiculous. It was dumb.
I'm about to say, like, it wasn't needed.
Now, here's the question of the night. In your opinion, guys, what was your best version of WCW? In your years, besides the NWO, what other years did you enjoy in WCW?
That was really the only years that I really didn't watch from like when going back to watching WCW, like when I actually, got the chance to watch it, I didn't really watch anything else but that part because I feel like that's what, made me, or that's kind of what I knew from WCW.
Well, WCW, yeah, but WCW, I like WCW when they did Starrcade, when they did Battle Bowl, the Lethal Lottery, when they did the Fantasy Warfare, and we did that before, right? The Battle Bowl.
We did do the.
We did Battle Bowl. Battle Bowl was a good event back then. 83 and 86, yes, 83 and 86 was part of the best times in WCW besides the NWO. But once it got to 1998, 1999, that's when the shit hit the fan. But those were the best times in wrestling. To me, in my opinion, when it came to that, wasn't WCW 1984 to 1987? Nah, I'm not sure. Let me see. Give me a second here, sir. No, it was in 1989 when it turned NWA World Championship Wrestling. So it did go to WCW at 1989. But unfortunately, when Vince McMahon says, "I now own WCW," I was like, holy shit.
Wow.
I'm looking at Monday Night Show and I see Vince McMahon on the show. I'm like, wow. Like, what the hell just happened here?
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't expecting that.
I don't think anybody was expecting that one, honestly.
Sandman was in WWE. That shit was funny.
Sandman
when he used to use the kendo
crazy.
stick. He said, I like WCW Nitro because of my friends was the Nitro guy. Oh, yeah. He said, my favorite time was NWA, not WCW 84 to 87. It was good. NWA was also a great organization. It was good. It's when you had the actual storylines of the Four Horsemen kicking everybody's ass, the actual greatest faction of all time.
Definitely.
I'm sorry. NWO was great, but to me, I'm always old school, and the Four Horsemen will always be the #1 faction of all time.
Okay.
Well, wrestling fans, our time is up here. Thank you for joining us as always. Thank you for joining us and watching our podcast and every part of social media. Please feel free to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, as well as TikTok. Please feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our next topic will be a double feature, a 2-part series.
We haven't did one of those in a while.
2 people mentioned this. One of our experts, Brian, and our experts, James. Jaden, what's coming up in April? What wrestling event is coming up in April?
What's coming up in April?
What wrestling event is coming up in April?
I'm asking you.
I'm asking you.
I'm asking you.
WrestleMania. Smart ass.
WrestleMania goes to Hollywood. I forgot WrestleMania is in Hollywood this year. WrestleMania is in Hollywood this year. Yes.
We are going to create the ultimate WrestleMania card in a 2-night part, which means we will be going live back to back. King of the Ring is coming up too. We will be doing a 2-week part series of WrestleMania, and then we will take 2 weeks off and come back in the 3rd week. But we will do 2 weeks back to back of WrestleMania card. 1 night with 8 matches. The following week, another 8 matches. Give us your suggestions in the chat. Give us your suggestions in the topic. in the comments and let us know. From myself, Lewis, the Encyclopedia of Pro Wrestling.
Jay, the Hugh Kid of Pro Wrestling.
And from my lovely producer and director, my lovely wife, Yesenia. Thank you for joining us, fans. We'll see you in another 2 weeks. Thank you. Bye-bye.